Hi, this is photographer James Falkowski, and I'm here to do an unboxing of a camera jib that I ordered off Amazon. So, a 4-foot jib crane. And for those of you who speak French, JB4 camera, 4-foot jib. Alright, so let's see what's inside the box. Oh, I'm liking this already. Seems to be a nice carrying case. And nothing else in that box. Always like things when gear comes in cases, so nice branded carrying bag, good handles, nice heavy duty back strap, so I appreciate that. It's got some zippers on the top and also down the middle. Alright, so we've got different parts here. I'm assuming these all kind of go together on the camera to attach the camera to the device. Alright, so this part attaches to the tripod, and then there are two arms that connect to the part that goes onto the camera. Then there's another back pole that allows you to do some pivoting on it, so we'll add that in right away since I know where that goes. And then, since this is going to the tripod, the head needs to face toward me when I install it. And then you'll see that I've got one knob here and two knobs here. Where'd the other knob go? Oh, it's all the way up here. So in order to get this positioned so that they look the same, put that there. And this here. And then to the end of the device, there's a counterweight and handle. So that can get screwed in down here. There's plenty of bolt length here in case you need to add additional counterweights if you got a heavy camera set up. I'm not going to screw it in all the way because I kind of know what that does already. This part is the camera mount. So we've got a little mount here to go into either the base of your camera, or what I would prefer is a ball head so that you have greater control over the angle. And now, one of the things that's kind of cool with this design is that if you, and I'll shorten this up a bit, if you have one arm that's longer than the other, and you tilt on your camera, you can see how that pitches forward. So if this were up and down straight for my tripod, you'll see how that head will pitch forward a little bit more. It gets even more dramatic as you move the arm farther out. So if these aren't the same length, as the head moves up and down, the tail of it, where the camera is mounted, will have greater movement. So that's one of the great things about these style jibs with 2 arms instead of the single arm, is that you can do additional smooth camera movements, tipping up and down. So this is great if you've got an overhead shot and you want to, raise up the camera but then point down at the person as you go over their head. So again, it's great for an overhead shot like that. So assembly, really simple. Then, to make things even more spectacular, they give you an extra mounting bracket to put your ball head on. So this positions at the end of the arm. That looks like that should have a receiver bolt, and it doesn't. Nope, that's just loose. That would spin. Well, let's try this. Let's take that out and go this direction. Yes, that is threaded, and that would work. All right, so with a little bit of time and effort, I was able to get that camera stage platform on, and then you've got additional mounting points for your camera. It also allows you to do swing motions. So rather than having your jib up and down, if you could sideways mount it, then you can move it side to side for your motion. All in all, a pretty cool device. So again, for mounting side by side, we've got the different screw holes for the positioners, but then you could use one of those for a tripod mount. There's also multiple tripod mounts on the bottom. It's kind of a cool device. One last thing, just because I know about these things from playing with them in other ways, you can also get different types of movements by moving these positions different than these positions. So you get a little bit of camera tilt different when the positionings of the brackets, the pivot brackets, are different. So again, just a quick last look at this. So the business end where the camera goes, where the tripod attaches, and then this is the control hand for the user. And this also has an adjustable arm so that if you want to have a heavy camera, you can extend out counterweights to balance it upon the access point for the tripod so your tripod doesn't tip over. So for the money that I paid, this is going to be a really fun toy. I'll do some footage of it to demonstrate. All right, so we're going to now demonstrate quickly how this jib works. So that's the articulated movement when the angles are not set the same. I'm now going to extend these out more. And also to evenly space them. So things are level. If I adjust both knobs to be in the same position, then the tube should be safely at the same place. So now we'll do a flying with this one. And I'm doing some demonstration footage just so that you'll have something to see from the camera's angle of view. And at this point the camera's aimed back toward the jib. Now I'll do an arm offset so that one arm is longer than the other, so you can see the difference there. And for these I'll position the camera facing away from the jib. Alright, so hopefully you can tell that the lower arm is quite a bit shorter than the upper arm. And I will need to lock my ball head in place so that this works as I expect it to. Alright, so the lower arm is shorter than the upper arm. So that allows you to get some overhead shots. And now we'll do the upper arm shorter than the lower arm. There's lots of movement here, but not as much because the arm positions are not that different. And if you trick it out just the right way, you can get this to get just the angle difference that you're looking for. The effect is increased as the length of the arm shorten. So you can see there that the range of motion is fairly limited, but as the arm comes up, the camera points further downward. And then we'll swap it out the other direction. So now the lower arm is farther out than the upper arm. So when we start, we're tipped backward looking toward the sky, and as we get higher and higher, we tend to level out a little bit more. Of course, the other nice thing with the jib is that you can get nice and smooth rotations because your lever, your arm for controlling the pan, is a lot longer. So if I want to get a nice smooth sweep, I can stand all the way back here and just do a nice slow walk through to get the pan that I need. The pan will be even smoother if this arm is leveraged out and those arms are pulled in, because then the distance that the camera moves will be less in proportion to how the control arm moves. So I hope that this little demonstration has been fun for you. It's been fun for me. And then I would always recommend having some sort of quick disconnect mount that has a nice bevel on to keep things safe. It makes it easier than trying to unthread this when you're on a normal tripod. So again, photographer James Falkowski, I hope that this has been informative and helpful.